off the stick. It's brilliant. Niall Ryan's first of the game.
It's a great score, yeah, great score. And good running again, that direct running up along the line, which he's capable of. Really, really good score. I just think there as well, I'm not sure if the sound has been going for the last minute or so. I just got a text there just from a friend of mine, but like Boden have started to push now. Dooley, good score as well. Like there's two consistent scores in a row, and you look at what like Plunkett have done all the hard work, and now Boden are back a point up.
Conor Dooley puts it over. Ballyboden by 1, 10 minutes gone. Arthur threw himself at that one, but it spills kindly for Luke McDwyer, trying to sidestep around Conor Foley. McDwyer, it's 1-on-2 inside in favour of Plunkett, and the two win it. Hammersley did his best, made it stick. Foley, that's loose. Morris can't do much with that, trying to win it back. I beg your pardon, it's Foley. Kevin O'Gorman leaves it behind. Hammersley hassling all the way. Fogarty breaks kindly for Ger Ryan. Ger Ryan is pickpocketed. Good ball to Keeney.
Some score.
Just dropped short. Keeper left it behind. Hammersley wanted it. Will he get it now? It is Mellis. Hammersley. And they work the score well. Hammersley's first from play.
Yeah, good score, and look, the intensity of tackling there by Keeney as well around the middle, and Hammersley was good, and then Lambert obviously won the ball, but like Plunkett are doing well, but just when Boden need to push the hammer down, they're starting to do it, and you know, the half back line there is starting to really come into it for Boden.
Full-time score from O'Toole Park. Kilmacud Crokes 27 points. Craig Kieran 14 points. Craig Kieran in action here at the weekend. They're playing Lucan Sarsfields, that game live on Dubs TV, and that's a bit of a nothing ball. Bill McCormick to David Morris. Conor Foley. Aidan Fogarty. Again, a Boden player loses the hurley. Doesn't make too much difference to them. It's a dual club, keep in mind. Former All-Ireland football champions. Here's Luke McDwyer. Great crossfield ball, great diagonal. Keeney's making a run inside, but Hammersley just tips it over.
Yeah, great score, and that's what we spoke about in the first game as well. The type of ball going in, that linear ball that came in from the Fiend in the first half, that's the type of ball the forward wants, and Keeney had actually made a great run off Timmy's shoulder, which would have given him an opportunity to push on and maybe get that goal.
Timmy Hammersley is more experienced to an already very experienced group as Pierce Christie goes surging forward. He's got some pace, Christie. He can shoot as well, as we've just seen.
Yeah, look, Boden are really pulling it away now, like, and they're really starting to put the hammer down, and it's all coming from the half back line. Dean Kern is doing well there as well. You can see Lambert's just sitting in behind him, but the type of ball they're giving their forwards, they're giving Mellett and they're giving Hammersley a chance to win it, and you know, very impressed with the intensity that Keeney's bringing it so far as well.
Plunkett could do with a score. They're only 4 behind, but it's not looking good for them at the moment. They're being completely outplayed. Here's O'Connor. Simon Lambert, Simo as he's better known. Hammersley's been a handful so far. Spills kindly for McKeown. Dooley. Maguire. Pierce Christie. Christie, does he have goal on mind? That was a really good piece of defence from Killian Hayes. Comes back to Christie though. And a bit of a blind ball back out. Bounces kindly for Keeney. Keeney does it again. 2 points for him, 9 points for Boden. And they're cruising.
Yeah, great ball I think as well from Pierce to the side over to Connell, and again Connell's just consistency of scoring, like he misses very, very few, but again it's all coming from that half back line and midfield from Boden. Like, they're winning everything. You can see Luke out here again now, and McDwyer's on the ball.
McDwyer. Corcoran's running outside. McDwyer goes himself and hits it wide. Bill McCormick is not happy. He is screaming at the outfielders.
Killian Hayes is working back really hard for Plunkett's, and I think he's massive potential for the future, and he's working really, really hard. But it's McCormack to get him on ball as much as they can, because that Boden half back line is just eating up what's there at the minute.
Bill McCormack, who represented Tipperary at underage levels, goes along with the puck out. It's won again by Ballyboden. They're winning all the breaks at the moment. Trying to get on it now, Brian McDonald. And Boden win the free out. Again, just in case you missed the first game, to remind you that the structure of the go-ahead Dublin Senior 1 Hurling Championship has changed this year. It's 2 groups of 5. The winner of each group marches straight on to the semi-finals. Second and third go to quarter-finals, and fourth and fifth play each other in each group to decide who stays up. 2 teams are relegated, and 2 teams come up from Senior 2, so whoever reaches the final, the 2 teams in Senior 2 go up. It is in fact a free to Plunkett's. I thought he'd pointed the other way first.
I think the Plunkett's line let him know quite straight away what was going on, but yeah, he's right. In fairness, Arthur's a chance here again, but just at the moment you can see Curtin, like you can see that whole that body language, and it just epitomises the type of fella he is as well. They're working really hard around the half back line and midfield to get on ball, so you can obviously see the influence he's had as a manager and as a coach over the last while. But and look, they'll be disappointed their league final wasn't good enough against Lucan, who are doing flying at the moment, and I'd say there's a bit of hurt in Boden now as well, because they didn't do themselves justice. Keeney is flying tonight there. What
a catch from the puck of Kern. Here's Niall Ryan. It's opening up for him. Ryan guides it over for his second.
Great score, great movement again, and great pace from Niall in the middle of the field. And from a Plunkett's perspective, they're going to need to keep tabs on him, because he's winning a lot of breaking ball there, as is Connell.
That's a good take from Papa. A great run as well. Is it matched by a great shot? No. A very dedicated trainer, Ariel Papa, never misses a session. Decent footballer as well as being a very, very decent hurler.
Yeah, he's great pace as well, and obviously not listed there to start. And like I said to you before about Keane Boland, he's obviously a huge loss for Plunkett's tonight, and they'll feel that. But when he gets on ball, he's pace, and again, I think that the Plunkett's full back line, in fairness, are battling hard for the quality of ball that's been put inside.
Great turn by Mellett. Mellett turning on the afterburners.
Advantage, yeah.
And Mellett getting that free, and as you say, advantage was being played.
I'd say Boden will want to get Conor Dooley into the game more again as a half forward. Like, he works back, who you want to compare him to, but he works back very well into midfield, half back line very well for Boden at times. But even with that ball broke down there from Ado, like, he would have loved an opportunity to get a chance to go for goal there.
Earlier on, Nafina in action. They took on St. Jude's. You can watch that game back via the Dubs TV YouTube channel. I won't say who won or lost, so no spoilers. Spoiler from O'Toole Park, Kilmacud Crokes winning comfortably against Craig Kieran. Hammersley. That's a good free. His second of the game, he's 4th overall, 18 minutes gone, and it's Boden by 7.
Yeah, his work rate is good as well. Like, you can see him, like, again, he's back out after hitting a free, and he's involved with Keeney here now in tackling. Like, he's going to add something to that Boden team, and obviously you have Reiner to come back in as well as he called our number 1 free taker. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that about him.
Boden have won the majority of these scrambles. How can you prepare teams for that? What kind of training do you do to win those scrambles? Because there's so many of them in a game. They're massively important. Yeah, and look, I suppose most good coaches now are kind of deeming their coaching sessions are based around and off those small-sided games and stuff. But look, a lot of that comes down to stuff you can coach as well, Oisin. A lot of that comes down to heart, and that's a good score from Plunkett's. Killian Hayes striking it over. You spoke about him earlier in the game. You said he was talented. He showed it there. Yeah, I like him. I saw him last year, and I was impressed with him last year. I think he's a great engine. He's great with man to take a score as well. But again, you look what we spoke about in that first game about quality ball, like the ball that's going inside to that Boden full forward line is just exemplary. That's a great score by Mellett. Great ball by Dean Kern. Mellett's first of the game. Not the first time that Kern has delivered it well into the forward line, and also not the first time that the forward line have finished it well. I think that's Fionn Boland who's down. He'll need a bit of treatment, Fionn Boland, who's just seen his cousin Killian Hayes score a point, but then Ballyboden responding straight away. Is this what Plunkett's needed? Someone to just take the sting out of it?
Yeah, quite possibly, because like for most of the first half now, in fairness, when Boden are putting down the foot, you can see it, and I suppose from a Plunkett's point of view, their big thing before half time is not to concede a goal, because if Boden get a goal, it'll be a long way back for Plunkett's. But look, Boden are playing really well. I've said it a few times about that half back line. It seems to be a platform, and like you can see Lambert out there now, he's just orchestrating everything and keeping men tight. Like Arthur started really well on young Mulligan Lynch, but he's come back into it a bit more, and you know, Conor McKeown is coming out around the middle, leaving space inside for Mellett and for Timmy. So, you know, you'd have to say Boden look quite impressive so far.
McCormick. It's a really good take, a very good pass. Here's Conor Foley. Foley doesn't catch it right at all, and it's brilliantly intercepted by Steve O'Connor. Simon Lambert still doing it after all these years. Flicked on brilliantly by Conor Dooley. Dooley measures it incorrectly.
Yeah, look, he did well to get on the ball, and again, like you said, Lambert gave that ball outside, and Dooley was brave to win it. And look, he has that long stride. I think there's so much in that fella to be able to push on. But I think Dean Kearns doing really well tonight, and Dean will be disappointed last year didn't get chosen, I suppose, for maybe one or two of the crucial games. But so far he's done really, really well, and you can see that Curtin attitude is strong in that half back line.
Here's Aidan Mellett looking for point number 2 for him. He hasn't got it.
David Curtin has put Eamon O'Reilly in part of the backroom team as well. Eamon would have been physio with Dublin for years, and obviously runs his bar clinic out around that area too. But great man to have involved as well. Players would massively respect him, and you know, he's somebody who'll add to Curtin set up with Boden.
Papa has won the possession. His team need a boost, and he's provided it. That's a fantastic score.
He's doing really well around there. Like, he's loads of pace, and again, like you go back to when they were doing well at the start of the game, they got ball into Arthur and quick and stuff. So, you know, if they can get ball in faster to him, and you can see the physicality. Like, they're not shirking the physicality. It's just the quality of forwards that Boden have available to them. But the Plunkett lads are definitely well up for it.
Papa born in Romania, but has lived most of his life in Ireland. Lambert. Making the run off the ball was Christie. Hammersley, another fine pass, but not a fine finish. That was Conor McKeown who left that one short. McCormick. Good battling from Arthur. Will it break for Brian McDonald? It does. Brian McDonald has the ball in hand. Tom Cullen. David Morris. Another Tipperary man on the field tonight. Timmy Hammersley. Bill McCormick himself. That's easily intercepted. Conal Keeney. He'll go for it again. Keeney looking for his third point and not getting it.
No, well done. Stephen O'Connor did really well there and get the ball to Keeney. And again, I suppose if you're Aidan and Timmy inside, you'd want that ball fit in, because they seem to be causing problems whenever the ball is, and that's something maybe that Curtin will look at half time, that, you know, the opportunity to give the ball inside fast is good.
Great catch by Arthur. Inside to Brian McDonald. McDonald rides the tackle. Can they work a goal here? They'll settle for the points. Tapped over in the end by Mughal Papa.
Yeah, good score. That channel opened up in the middle, and you know, you can see already that inside are not happy with that, because if McDonald had a bit more of a flight of feet, he would have taken it on and really went down, because it was open in the centre for them, and you can see McGarry trying to sort it out in there now.
The two Papa brothers have scored for Plunkett's. What can Mellett do for Ballyboden? They've got a little bit casual in the last few minutes.
They have, and like, you know, they went, when they put the foot down, they went whatever 5 or 6 up, and you could see them starting to motor. But I'm sure, like, Kurt needs to have a word as well, because Endas, like, he's well capable of taking that ball on and going for it. Ger
Ryan brought down by Curran. Referee says it's okay. It's easy to say he could have got a shot away there, but he was closed down. There wasn't much he could do. McDonald battling for it and winning possession. Aidan Fogarty. This is to narrow the gap to 4. Unfortunately for Fogarty, he hit it wide.
Yeah, the intensity from that half forward line from Boden is just completely gone out of it, and you can see the 2 or 3 lads standing inside, and some of the half back line that are working really hard are not happy.
Another great catch from Keeney. Another great pass from Keeney. Christie has to move it back outside. Hammersley. Keeney found himself in a pocket of space, and it's off the woodwork and wide. McCormack. Arthur has pulled back. Referee says play on. Wins the free in.
Yeah, probably deserved that. And again, look, Keane will be disappointed with that last shot. Hit the post, I suppose, unlucky too. But whenever the ball is put into Arthur, he seems to be on top there. So that's maybe a change that could be looked at. But just like you said, a bit of complacency after setting in. You go 6-7 points up. The idea is, rather than trying to work that goal, is just keep the scores going over. Because like we said, the only way that the Plunketts were going to come out with a positive first half was if they got that goal. And very impressed with some of the younger players that Plunketts are really trying to work hard to close down what was a half back line that was providing so much platform for Boden going forward.
Niall Arthur, originally from Clare, but very much settled now at Plunkett's, and might settle his team a bit with that score. His second from a free, 4 between them. Pierce Christie came deep to collect it, tries to get around Fogarty, left it behind. Christie gets it back. Dooley, Ryan, Luke McDwyer. McDwyer's in here. McDwyer goal.
Yep. Great goal. I said at the start, if there was one player to look at from a youth kind of profile point of view for Boden that needs to push on, it's Luke, and he took that on there, a bit of pace to take it on, and a good finish.
And all of a sudden a 4-point gap becomes a 7-point gap. Plunketts need to respond before the break. Connor Scully. Ballyboden had an extra man back there and he just gobbled that one up. Keeney. Great work from Connor Foley to get something on that. Now collecting it is Killian Hayes, trying to get away from Keeney. Tom Cullen. Fantastic catch. And a good finish, Neil Clerkin.
Yeah, good score, good ball in as well. And again, you can see the work rate that's in around the middle. They're really trying hard. And in fairness to Killian Hayes, kind of sidestepped Keeney there and put a good ball in, and it was won well and good score.
Neil Clerkin, who has been through the Dublin Hurling Academies, was a minor up to I think last year, still quite young. Just about kept in play. Well, it was at first by Timmy Hammersley, then he carried it out over the line under pressure, and it's a line ball to Plunkett's.
Yeah, and in fairness, you can see Plunkett's is a very youthful team, and I think that last year as well, during commentary we've said it, they've had a good league this year, pushed back up again, and they're trying to bring the younger players in through again. It's just, I think the loss of Keane Boland to this team is huge, for what he brings to them, and obviously the ability that he has at inter-county and club level.
Well, he got the air on that one, but not the direction. It's a Ballyboden line ball. Pierce Christie jogging over now. He's been picked up by Connor Foley. For a moment he was free. Curran. It's going to drop. It's dangerous for Plunkett's. Pulled on there by Kevin O'Gorman. Did the right thing to sweep it away. Papa. That's some surge of pace. And it's a Plunkett's ball, a free out, which Bill McCormack is running over to take. He's got a monster puck, but I don't think he'll go for it from there. He might drop it in though. A goal before the break would be some boost to Plunkett's.
Yeah, and you can see obviously Boden have put Lambert back in as that kind of extra, and he's allowed that bit of space to sit behind where the 6 would be, and he's a bit more protection for Finn, because it is quite breezy for people who are obviously at home. There is a fair strong breeze that's come in, but I'll say McCormack will have a fair shot at this now.
It's going to drop. And it comes to maroon rather than blue and white. Here's Killian Hayes. Can't keep it on target. Good pressure though from the Boden defence. Can't imagine there'll be too much injury time. We did have a slight stoppage for Fionn Boland, but aside from that, not too many breaks. Intercepted by Luke Corcoran. McDwyer. Simon Lambert, I beg your pardon, now it's Niall Ryan. Ryan! A second goal for Ballyboden. Niall Ryan now on 1-2.
Yeah, made by Simo as well, like being up around that area too, like, you know, just that little pop ball in, and you know, Ryan has that bit of class to get inside and score. And look, it's in fairness to Boden, like I said, the one thing that Plunkett didn't need was to concede a goal, and Boden have got 2 now, so you'd expect him to push on.
Brian McDonald tries to make that his.
Lambert is flying there, like.
He's having a great game. Here's Aidan Mellett. Plunkett's get it back. Clerkin. Connor Scully. Taken well by Niall Arthur. Popping up on both wings, Niall Arthur has advantage coming, so we'll take the free. At the moment there's 9 points in it. Arthur trying to narrow the gap with what could be the last puck of the half. That's a good and well struck free. His third of the game.
Good free, and he's doing well when ball is given to him. You see that that David Curtin and Boden have taken Conor McKeown out on Killian Hayes from corner forward. So again, that's a smart move, because Hayes is quite dangerous, and McKeown is a physical character for a small man. He's the heart of a lion. So look, Boden, in fairness, well deserved their lead at half time. Whenever they pushed on, they really got it. And you know, Plunkett's have an uphill battle ahead of them now, but you know, Curtin have a few things to talk to them about as well. I think the first 10 minutes their work rate wasn't good enough inside, but when they got ball in and quality ball in, they looked dangerous inside.
Well, goals from McDwyer and Niall Ryan have Ballyboden St Endas in a very strong position. Let's have a look at some of the highlights of the first half. Joe.
Yeah, look, I think Plunkett started really well and went ahead, and like I said to you, I thought young Killian Hayes and popping out did really well, but you know, I think when you look at the opportunities that they had when Arthur was on ball, possibly could have got a little bit more out of it. He's well capable of scoring. Young Luke Mulligan-Lynch started off, I suppose Arthur was getting the better of him, but he came back into it more. But look, Plunkett's have the heart and the fight. You can hear the noise coming from the line, but just when that touch of class is needed and that ball is win, I think the half back line for Boden has been exemplary. And I think when they get the ball in fast into their full forward line, Hammersley and Ado, even though he hasn't won his own primary ball enough, I would say they're still causing him problems inside. But look, the Evergreen Keeney has popped over a couple of scores as well, and I think Lambert has been instrumental in making sure that the ball that's going in is quality ball too.
In fairness to Plunkett, they did steady it after the first 10 minutes, didn't they?
They did, look, and they opened okay, like, you know, they opened fine, but you know, I suppose the type of ball that Boden, we spoke about it in the first game, like, you know, the linear type ball that Nafina were playing at their forwards was easily intercepted by the Jude's full back line. But the ball that's been given in there by Lambert and Dean Kern is that, you know, that ball, that crossfield ball that gives the opportunity for the forward to get out a half step ahead. And look, Keeney's come up with some crucial scores. He's had a couple as well that he's put wide and hit the post, but yeah, like, he's out there as well. I think they'll want a little bit more out of midfield. Niall Ryan obviously broke through here, and you know, he's capable of scoring. He did it for me in 18 as well at really pivotal points in the year where he breaks through, and if he gets a chance at all, he'll go for goal.
Plunkett did pick up the occasional nice score, just not enough of them.
And again, like, you have to, like, the loss of Keane Boland to that Plunkett's team is huge. You know, will he be back for championship? Hopefully so. He had a significant injury in the club championship last year, so hopefully, please God, he gets back in the club jersey before the inter-county kind of thing kicks off again.
This was a half goal chance, but in the end they had to settle for a point. But you can see 5 Boden players at least in shot, getting between the man who had the ball and the goal.
Yeah, and you'll see as well, or you'll hear it as well from home. Like, McGarry is great at coordinating that back line. But look, McDwyer broke in. I said it at the start, like, of all the young players that are there with Boden at the moment, I think Luke McDwyer has massive potential, and he finished his goal really well.
Arthur has been a go-to man for Plunkett's, but they've just had too much up front. Lambert slipping in, Ryan finishing well. So it's looking good for Ballyboden St Endas at half time. On the first night of our live coverage on Dubs TV of the Go Ahead Dublin Senior 1 Hurling Championship. Last night, St Vincent's overcoming Lucan. That was in O'Toole Park. Earlier on, we had the clash of Nafina and St Jude's. You may want to watch that one back, so I won't spoil it for you. I can tell you that Kilmacud Crokes have had a good win against Crave Kieran in O'Toole Park. And we've got more live action coming up over the weekend. On Saturday, we're here for the clash of St Vincent's against St Bridget's. That's at 5:30. And before that, at 4:45, Lucan and Crave Kieran, both of whom have lost their first games, they meet at 4:45. In Ballyboden St Enda's case, they're up against St Jude's at O'Toole Park on Saturday at 5:30. Nafina have a bye at the weekend, as do Kilmacud Crokes. We'll be back with the second half soon. At half time, Ballyboden looking good for the win here against Plunkett. 2-12 to 10 points they lead. We're about to start the second half of this go-ahead Dublin Senior 1 Hurling Championship encounter between Ballyboden, St Endas and St Oliver Plunkett's Owen Rua. You can join the conversation via social media, hashtag GoAheadDSH1. Ballyboden in control here, 2-12 to 10 points. Joe Fortune, what do Plunketts need to do to get back into this game?
Yeah, look, there's obviously been a few strong words at half time to get them in there that long. Boden were out early. I'm sure Curtin had things to work on as well in regards to what he wants to do going forward. Plunketts, look, they need a good start here. You know, they started off quite well in the first half, but you know, when Boden really put the foot down, then they took off, and the one thing Plunketts didn't need was to concede a goal. But look, let's see what they're like in the second half. You know, I think Boden will have a big say in this year's championship. I see Mr. McCarthy is the two umpires, proper umpires there now anyway. He had two referees in there in the first half, so that's all to play for. Look, in the second half now, it's been enjoyable, it's intense. Plunketts are really going at it, but Boden just have that touch of class. I think that's a step above.
Plunkett's quarter-finalists last year, having not got out of the group the 2 years before. That wasn't bad though, because keep in mind they're in this generation a young club, if that makes sense, as in they're only back at the top grade for a couple of years. Here's Conall Keeney. Good ball inside to Millet, who's a goal getter, as you can see.
Yeah. Good start for Boden, and look, you're right what you said, they're just kind of severe of where Plunketts are in comparison to other teams. They're bringing a youthful young team through, and obviously Keane is a massive loss for them, but that's a serious start. And look, I'd imagine that's what Curtin looked for in the dressing room at half time, that, you know, we don't hold up here now, that we drive this on. And like I said, they would have been disappointed with their final performance in the league, but look, if I asked you who won the 3 leagues in Dublin in the last 3 years, you probably wouldn't know any of them. So, you know, it's all about championship for teams like Coola and Boden. It's not, you know, leagues will be forgotten about.
Lambert drops it inside, but just a little bit too much on that for Timmy Hammersley. Earlier on in O'Toole Park, Kilmacud Crokes beating Craig Kieran 27 points to 14. We've got the Craig Kieran match at the weekend live here on Saturday on Dubs TV. Check out all the Dublin GA social media channels for more. That's a good ball into the love of Fionn Boland. Fionn Boland marauding forward. His team needs scores. Niall Arthur is a good man to get them, and that's a free in.
Yeah, Arthur started the first half very, very well, and we've said, like, the quicker to get the ball into him, the better. And you know, you don't need to foul him, because like, he'll hit frees all day long for him, and he's done well any ball that's gone to his hand. But I'd like to see more. Like, again, we've seen a lot of that half back line for Boden in the first half. I'd like to see a little bit more now from, you know, they're 10, 11 and 12 really starting to come into it. Obviously Keeney was good, but a little bit more out of Dooley and aim some puckouts down on top of him.
Niall Arthur scored 3 from frees in the first half. It's his fourth free of the game, and Plunketts are off the mark in the second half. Just a reminder, we're back into club territory, so it's half an hour aside as opposed to 35 minutes aside. Keeney, who's been immense. Rolls out for Luke Corcoran. Simon Lambert. Christie with the diagonal to John Maguire, who leaves it behind first time, gets it second time. Inside it goes. Is that a foul? He gets his shot away anyway, Luke McDwyer, and gets his second goal.
Yeah, and you talk about patterns of play, and you know, we spoke about that in the first half as well. The type of ball that Lambert gives there, it's linear, then bang, it's across the field. It gives the chance, and look, Boden could cut loose here now, because they can smell that blood, and they want to push on. And I suppose that, like you said earlier on, the scoring difference when it comes to the end of the year may have an impact on who comes first, second, and third in the group.
Keeney. Boden, who will see themselves as contenders as they have done the last couple of years, haven't delivered it since 2018. It's something that hurts a lot of these players. Lambert, McCormack, Arthur gets out in front, takes it well. Good pass. Papa wide, unfortunately.
Yeah, Bowden have brought on Rob Leddy to try and man mark Arthur, because Arthur obviously had a good start to the first half and was dangerous, and Rob is a tight, tenacious little character, and he'll be well able to. It's just important that he doesn't give away frees, but Sim will be disappointed with that last ball in, because if you're having those two inside, you need to make sure that the ball either goes over the bar or goes to one of the two. So I know he'll probably give out to me for saying that, but it is something that he'll know himself, that in order for Bowden to push on against teams coming as the business end of the year, they're going to need to make sure that's better.
It's a free out. Keeney and Scully getting to know each other. McCormack taken out of the air by Mellis. Mellis loses it. Papa finds a route to goal, and it's a free out. The referee is saying there was a tackle off the ball.
Yeah, there was. It was well sighted there as well, in fairness to McCarthy. Like, he saw that tackle that came, the third man in on the right hand side, and hit, I think it was Dean Curran or John Maguire actually, that he took off the game. But you can see Simon trying to get up the field faster there for the ball to be hit, and again the run that's made by Timmy out to the side, but he'll need to wait for McCarthy to blow the whistle.
Curran. Some ash goes flying there. Keeney tries to keep it alive, runs into his own man, Luke McDwyer. And because it's a head injury, the referee stops play. And rightfully so. Just goes to show, Keeney doesn't care who's in the way. If you're between him and the ball, you're getting flattened.
It was pure accident, and Dooley went strong with that ball as well. Like, I think, it's great to see him back. I know he's had a problem with injury over the course of the year as well, but Dooley will add to that team. But Keeney back as well. Obviously he was out for the start of the year, but he's been majestic at times tonight when he's needed to be. So, and he doesn't shirk, like you can see as well. He's himself and Mr. Scully had a couple of words there a few minutes ago, and you'd think it was his first championship match.
There's a saying I heard before: never get between a hippo and the water. It reminds me of getting between Keeney and a slitter. Granted, Keeney is a lot fitter than a hippo.
Yeah, they have similar temperaments though,
and they're both very strong. McDonald. Still something to be taken from this game from a Plunkett's point of view, even if they can't get a result. There's a little bit of afters there involving Simon Lambert, and the referee is bringing a free in for Plunkett's. Well, the most important thing to do now is just stay calm and keep 15 on the pitch.
Yeah, because like you said, there's a match the weekend again against Jude's, and Sim will come out there and he won a great ball. And again, like that half back line, like you said, has been serious for Bowden tonight. But the big thing for Plunkett is getting consistent game times at this level into these young players, because they have some very good young players. But just the nature of this, like when you're coming up against a half forward line that's as physical and strong as what Bowden have at the minute, it's quite hard for them to compete. But yeah, you're right. The more they can compete, and they've come back up now to Division 1, which is important for them as a club as well and as a team. But yeah, look, at the moment it is what it is for what Bowden are doing. Like when they need to put the hammer down, they're doing it.
Joe Ryan is going off. He's being replaced by Ian Sherry.
You can see the difference though as well, Oisin. Like when you come from Division 2 to Division 1, even at club level, there's a massive difference in this sense as well, because Plunketts have had a good year at league, but like the difference in quality, and you can see what Bowden are bringing in. Like you're bringing in Paul Ryan as a sub, Niall
Arthur taps another one over. 4-12 to 12 points. It's not an unfair reflection on the game so far. Bit of a miscommunication there. Plunkett's got the ball and then lost it again. Ballyboden just so tenacious, so intense. Shane Durkin finds Keeney. Keeney back inside. Paul Ryan. A fifth goal for Ballyboden.
What a finish. I don't know if he meant it, but what a finish, and what a bit of vision from Keeney as well. Like you bring Reiner on the field, you're Durkin on the field, and look, in fairness, you can see Curtin written all over this as well, that tenacious, that tenacity, that tackling, that they're not giving up. Like you look at Keeney here now, and he's sprinting 50 yards from goal for your whatever you are up, like you're 15 points up, and it still means an awful lot to them. great ball inside if he wins it.
I'm sure Paul Ryan will tell you he knew exactly what he was doing. He looked like he did, to be fair. They might get in again here. It's Pierce Christie. Christie hits it wide, which is really poor because Dooley was absolutely free inside the 13-metre line. Plunkett's making another change.
Boden obviously took in Mellett, who was inside in the first half, got a good goal, took him out around midfield. He had a great year last year for Boden in the middle of the field, club championship boys, and obviously had a very good year with Dublin this year to a point as well. So look, again, you look at the danger inside, like Hammersley has caused problems, massive problems for Plunkett's inside, and in fairness to Pierce Christie, he's worked really, really hard, but the changes are being made now. Obviously Boden are emptying their bench, but like you're emptying your bench, bringing on Shane Durk and Paul Ryan, you know, you've got real quality there that's in that side. So it's important that Plunkett's don't chip too heavy of a defeat here now tonight as well.
Lambert to Mellett. Mellett has McDwyer in front. That's the option he goes with. It's opened up for McDwyer. He's already got 2. Make it 3.
Yeah, look, I've said it to you, and you said to me at the start about what player or what young players are coming through, and I've rated Luke really highly since I've dealt with him in 18, and he's massive potential for the future. And look, it's good to see them. In fairness, when he gets inside now, he has that kind of that attitude, and it's obviously coming from Curtin that he's going for goal. There's none of this thing of tapping the ball over the bar. You get inside, and that ruthless nature comes out.
Good take by Paul Ryan. That's a fantastic block. Fogarty. He's not long on Sherry, but he just can't make it stick. Ryan back outside to Leddy. And he does get there, Pierce Christie. No, he doesn't. Remember, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Dublin GA YouTube channel, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter, it means that you'll be able to see when games are happening and when we've got live events, because they'll pop up automatically. You won't have to go and search for them. Tom Cullen going to search for the ball there. Try to find Fionn Boland, one of 4 Boland brothers. Keeney couldn't quite take it. Away it goes from David Morris. That's a trip up from Sherry on Mellett, and it's a free out.
A big card there as well, I think. But a good, again, Nado's come out the middle field. He's done well, and you know you can see that full back line for Boden hasn't been tested at all in the second half. You know, and again, I go back to it's not just one player, but like these young players that are coming through with Plunkett. It's important that they get games like this, but it's also important that they don't chip too heavy a defeat. But I'll also refer back to what I said earlier. Like, league is great, and Boden went through the league beating everybody and getting to a league final. I think they drew one match in the league, but then they get to a league final and were disappointing. But leagues don't matter. We won a league in 18, and Simon put the cup in the front seat of my car, and they went home. They don't do leagues. It's all about championships, and between themselves and Coola and Crokes and Nafina, whoever else, Lucan, who are in the shake-up, Boden won't be far away, I don't think.
It's another well taken score. Well finished by Pierce Christie. He's now on 2 points. McCormick goes long. It's been a long time since Plunkett scored. Can Brian McDonald do something about that? It's left behind. They've just been a little bit off kilter in the second half. Tommy Hines, it was just behind him and he couldn't quite take it.
Yeah, and he worked hard to get it, and in fairness to him, it's just slipped at the last minute. And look, I suppose the heads are down a small bit now, because when Boden are getting inside, they're ruthless, and you can see another couple of goals happening here unless Plunkett's can kind of shore it up at the back. You'd wonder why as well. The space that's inside there in front of Hammersley is like there's 40 yards on either side. You can't blame young Foley or young Morris for defending, because they've been sucked out. Maybe Plunkett could look at that idea of just sitting somebody inside between the 3 and the 6 to try and curtail that scoring that Boden are getting through.
Doesn't get any easier for Plunkett's at the weekend. They're up against Coola at O'Toole Park. That one's on 3:45. Also in O'Toole Park on Saturday, Ballyboden taking on St Jude's. Here in Parnell Park that day, we've got Craig Kieran against Lucan Sarsfields and St Vincent's against St Bridget's. Both of those matches live on Dubs TV.
Yeah, that second game, Bridges and like you look at what Vincent's did last night, and like Lucan are going really, really well at the moment, and Vincent's beat them out in O'Toole Park last night. So look, there's an exciting weekend of hurling ahead, and look, it's great to have the club championship back in all counties at the minute for all clubs, and it really gives a different sense this year that we're playing it in the summer, even though there's a chill in the air this evening. But playing club senior championship in July is very different.
Timmy Hammersley trying to add a Dublin senior medal to his Tipperary senior medal. Coming forward now is Shannon. Again, it just breaks down for Plunkett's.
Yeah, Dooley's working really hard in there. Like, he reminds me in ways, and I don't like saying it, but he reminds me in ways of the way Garrod Hegarty has that stride, and he has that kind of ability to get in around the work rate. And look, he'll add something as the year goes on.
Mellett. That one's going to drift wide. Conor Foley. Foley leaves it behind. Keeney sweeps it forward, but there was a foul. It's a free out.
Yeah, in fairness to Sean, he got that call right, and Keeney broken off with probably another chance of getting inside.
McCormack comes up to strike this one. There was a stiff breeze in the first half. It's actually died down a bit since, hasn't it? Yeah. It's a nice, pleasant night in Dublin. A little bit overcast, not too warm.
There could be hope for you yet if this sports thing doesn't work out for you, Langan, as a weather forecaster.
In the Martin King vein, or the I can't think of the name of any other Sean Fleming vein. Which one?
I was more kind of the female like I was looking at.
Fair enough. Killian Hayes gathered by Papa. Back outside it goes to Shannon. Dooley does well, puts the pressure on him. Bounces favourably for Plunkett's. MacDonald moves it on to Killian Hayes. Hayes! What a goal that is!
Just from silly, kind of sloppiness. Curtin won't like that now, because it's just a little bit sloppy, just a little bit kind of tippy-tappy. And then, like we said about Hayes, that was somebody who I picked out for you at the start. I think I was very impressed with him last year when I saw him. Obviously he's played underage with Dublin as well, and like a great finish.
Well, it was a fantastic move to make it happen. MacDonald gave it to Hayes, and before that Arthur got a nice little flick on. Shane Durkin. That's a good response from Bowden. Goal number 7.
Yeah, and Durkin wouldn't be used to be up that far, I'd say, but a great finish. He had 2 men on either side, and look, again, that comes to standards, and like, you can even see it around the middle here as well. There's still a lot of, like, Bowden will be disappointed at conceding that, but they'll push on again, and in fairness to young Hayes, he did really, really well for the goal. But fair play to Durkin, and he's like I said, he wouldn't be used to be that up the field, but if there's one man that you'd want at the end of a serious move for the heart and character that he has, it's definitely Shane Durkin.
Arthur, whose flick led to the goal, gets it over. Well, just as we were saying, Ballyboden had gone slightly loose. They popped up and scored a 7th goal. They might have the weekend on mind. In mind, I should say. It's a tight enough turnaround.
It is, yeah, and look, you'd have to say that like Jude's coming out tonight will be disappointed at times, and they'll have to be hurting a small bit coming into a game at the weekend. And like I said to you, the big thing I suppose for David Curtin and for managers that are going into, you get your 2 games, you win your first 2 games, and like you said earlier on, then there's a break, and you set yourself up then to see what part of the business end of the year you're going to be at. And like if Bowden get 2 wins, they'll set themselves up well in the group, but it'll be a battle against Jude's, like neighbours out there as well. Yeah. And anytime we had him out there, it was always a nice tasty battle.
The interesting thing about this season, just to remind you, just in case you're only logging on or tuning in, whichever phraseology you want to use, your championship doesn't end regardless of where you finish in the group. It used to be a case that if you finished 3rd in the group, you were safe and your season kind of ended, and in a lot of cases it meant your season kind of petered out. Now if you finish 3rd, you go on to the quarterfinals along with the 2nd place team, while the top team goes into the semi-final. That's because it's groups of 5, 2 groups of 5, but the bottom 2 teams in each group play each other in relegation playoffs, and the loser goes down. It's not like you win that and you're safe, and you lose and well you've another game after that. You don't. It really has turned the Dublin Senior Championship into a bit of a Shark Tank.
It has, and we've asked for look for this for years, like with the teams that are there, and there became dead rubber games. But every game this year is going to have massive implications for the next one and for the year that's ahead. But like, you have to look. We've said this a few times as well about this Plunkett's team. They're a young, emerging team. There's a couple of young lads there as well. Young McSweeney's not there to see. There's a few of them that are missing from last year's team sheet. Obviously, Keane Boland being away is a big loss for them too. But look, again, I suppose from everybody's perspective, the group that's there, I think the other group is tougher. I think the Crokes group is tougher based on trying to pick three eventual teams to come out of it.
Crokes with that victory tonight against Crave Kieran, who are back in action at the weekend. They'll take on Lucan Sarsfields. That's live on Dubs TV. Remember, if you want to join the conversation, you can do so via the hashtag GoAheadDSH1. After next weekend, there's a break in the hurling until the 13th of August. That's obviously because we'll have a couple of rounds of football. Conor Dooley still receiving some treatment, and the worry for David Curtin is not so much tonight, but whether or not he'll be okay for the weekend.
Yeah, I think it's more of a head injury.
Yeah.
No, again, look, he's made of strong stuff, that fella, so it'll take something significant to get him to leave the arena.
I know he'll take this as a compliment, but he is a bull, isn't he?
Yeah, I actually think I don't think he's rated highly enough for what he does, for the work rate he has, and for the ability he has. I thought in 18 and 19 he had 2 very good years, but and 20 as well. So I let you tell him that he's a bull.
I mean it in a good way. I think most hurlers will take that as a compliment. He's strong, but he has the skills as well. He has the stick work. A couple of yellow cards brandished. Dooley has got one of them. The other one I think has gone to Oisin Boland. And safety first. I think they'll take Dooley off. It's the wise choice. Ballyboden replacing him with Owen Behan.
Yeah, another young player that's coming through as well. In fairness to David, he's kind of shaking things up a small, but he's trying to bring in some good quality young players which are there. And you have to remember you have McMurrow and Madden to come back into this as well.
He recovered well from his mistake there. Here's Dean Curran. Almost caught first time. Good defending there from Shannon. Ballyboden though get the possession. Keeney somehow keeps it. Falls to Owen Behan. Trying to keep it alive is Shane Durkin. Keeney popping up all over the place. Keeney hits it wide. Even at his age, he wouldn't want to go off. I imagine he would be angry with David Curtin if Curtin tried to take him off now.
Yeah, I don't think that'd put the fear into Curtin either, but I think Keeney would be disappointed with that wide, but his work rate tonight has been colossal, you know. I know it scares me to say it, but I still think he has something to offer at an even higher level for what he has, like his ability at the age he has. If you look at that field tonight, you wouldn't pick him out at being, and for me, age for where Keeney is, I still think he could offer something.
Pierce Christie squeezes that one over. They were right to let Christie take it. He can move around the pitch so well, Conal Keeney. And like I say, he's more than able to play 2 games is it in the space of 4 days. Here's Brian McDonald. Oisin Boland dispossessed brilliantly by Lambert. No, it wasn't brilliant, it was a foul.
We've seen a kind of platform all night from Boden, haven't we? That half back line. It's just been the line that Plunkett's just can't break. It's done really, really well. Young Maguire's been in around there as well, and I've been impressed with Dean Curran tonight when he's been on ball, his distribution and platform as well. But look, Dave will be happy, and I'm sure the Plunkett's management will take tonight for what it is. It's experience for these younger players. There's a few of them, like we said in the earlier game, they lost a couple to travel. Obviously Keane is away travelling. Is young, I was impressed with young McSweeney last year as well, whereas he, is there a couple of injuries or whatever, but I think a team that's as young as Plunkett's, they don't need another heavy defeat at the weekend again, because morale can drop, and like you said, then there's the temptation to travel to become even bigger over the course of a few weeks.
Two get in each other's way, but it's stolen away by Fogarty. He needs some help here. Ballyboden with it back through Christie. Moves it onto Owen Behan. Behan has a crack, which goes wide.
Hard luck, yeah, but again, like you can see the Keeneys and Lamberts driving on young Pierre Christie and Luke McDwyer there, like what two better men to learn from, and you can see that young Behan as well, probably could have cut inside and made his angle shorter, but they've got some very good young players coming through. They're not gone yet. Like
free into Plunkett's as Ballyboden make another change. In for them is Paddy Dunleavy. Out goes Niall Ryan.
Yeah, Paddy was a Dublin 21 the year that under 20 the year they got to that final with Galway. Good player, good defender, tenacious, tough, very good footballer too, and he's a dual player with the club, which is probably one of the reasons why he's not starting fully for them.
Sherry couldn't escape. Pops out, falls for Dunleavy, who's just on the pitch. Tries to pick out Owen Behan. One sub playing it to another. Behan. That's a great diagonal ball. Nice turn, Aidan Mellett. Mellett looked inside rather than popping it over. And it's a free out.
Yeah, I've been impressed with young Behan since he come on. His wrists, like his movement and his wrists, like he's definitely somebody that obviously Curtin's looking at there. And again, like we said earlier on, you need to just take the score, easy scores. You have your 7 goals now, just keep the balls popping over the bar. But look, it's been a convincing win for Bowden, and they'll move on to Saturday's game with Jude's now.
And it's a free in. Hammersley takes his point. It's his 4th free of the game, 6-0. McDonald has the aim. Got his hand on it, couldn't make it stick. Does fall for Fogarty. Outside it goes to Éanna Boland. Looking for Sherry. Sherry's had a tough job since coming in, but he has battled very hard, and Boland almost wins a break. Left behind though. McGarry. Simon Lambert. Bit of a loose swing of the hurley there. In fairness to Luke McDwyer, he didn't make a big deal of it, but it's not what you want to see.
No, but again, look, I don't think anything intentional, and Luke, look, he's a young lad coming through as well. He doesn't do this kind of jump on the ground and run around. He's a good, young, honest young lad as well. But overall, look, it's job done for Bowden more or less, and you're kind of going through the motions for the last couple of minutes now. But look, some very good performances from Plunkett as well. I thought young Killian Hayes, when he got on ball, was good. Niall Arthur at times was dangerous. Brian McDonald as well, when he got near ball, was good. But just inside the forward line that Bowden have, it's significant. And look, there's bigger tests ahead, and the next one obviously that for David Curtin will be for the weekend. But get through the 2 games, I still think Ocean will have a big say in the championship this year.
Hammersley taps it over.
Don't think he's missed one, has he?
No. Interestingly enough, Conall Keeney's now on his 3rd hurley for the match. Just saw him coming over to the side off camera here and switching them again. That's what I like about him, always striving for perfection. A second goal would put a bit of a gloss on it for Plunkett's, but he couldn't even get the shot away. Hayes, he was well marked. He's a talented young player. Does fall for Fionn Boland, who unfortunately for him hits it wide. Owen Behan. Shane Durkin inside for Maguire. Maguire takes the hit, gets some space, gets his shot away, and sails it over. That's his first of the game.
good score. Another young good player that's coming through as well. But you can just see the body language, at the moment of Plunkett is quite down. Hayes is really trying hard up front, but they're trying to get that through that half back line is hard going. I think Luke Corcoran's done well there tonight as well for the part that he's played in it.
It's so hard at this stage of a hurling match, if you're being absolutely battered, to try and keep yourself going, to try and keep the work rate up. In fairness to Plunkett, they have, but they've just come up against a very good Ballyboden team tonight. Here's Sherry. Sherry wins the possession. That's a really good block by Dean Kern. That's what makes Ballyboden so good. At this stage of the match, Kern still getting the block in, still sticking with his marker. Here's Conall Keeney.
Yeah, it's a great point, and I think I made a reference to it last year. I think I don't know why, but Dean, he just wasn't in there last year, and I thought if he had been playing against Coola that day, that there was a chance and an opportunity maybe for Boden to turn them over. But he adds massive experience to that full back line as well, and he won't shirk responsibility. So it's good to see him getting back to himself again.
Taking off is Killian Hayes. Looking for Arthur, not finding him up. Good block, comes back to Hayes. Getting back there was Rob Leddy, didn't want to give up on it. Arthur, to be fair, hasn't given up on it either. Waiting for it here is Conor Scully. And it's a free in. The game you refer to there is, of course, the quarter-final, Coola and Ballyboden. Coola winning it that day. Some battle though, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, and I think that at the end of the championship last year in Dublin, all the games were serious battles, and in fairness to Sean McCarthy there as well, he could have probably taken a card out there, and you see Keeney going over, and himself and Niall, they've gone to bigger battles, the two of them, and just a bit of a loose hurl at the end. But look, there was no malice in any of the game, and I think the two games that we've had tonight, Oisin, we've been here, and it's the first round of the senior championship in Dublin, and two games where I suppose we would have expected probably Nafina and Boden to come away with the spoils, and they've done that. But it's all about day two now for teams and what happens on the weekend.
It is St Jude's for Ballyboden up next in O'Toole Park on Saturday. For Plunkett, it's Coola. That's a double header in O'Toole Park actually on a Saturday. Arthur. Another good score from Arthur. 5 points in the second half, 5 points in the first half, mostly from frees, 7 from place balls in fact. But Plunkett's just completely outclassed tonight. They will learn from this. And they haven't stopped working. I know that sounds like a cliched comment, but they really haven't. Tommy Hines. Good score. As I heard Brendan Cummins say during the summer when Waterford played Clare, if you're just a tiny percentage off, it's a lot in hurling.
Yeah, at this level where Plunketts are trying to get up to that next level of where senior A hurling is in Dublin, that's great battling again by
fantastic from McDwyer, picked up now by Behan, and a goal.
I like Behan's wrists. Like he's like a young Paul Ryan. The wrists that he has, his quick turn of pace, and in fairness to McDwyer, he kept going there. But look, the difference between Division 2 and Division 1 in Dublin is big, and then the difference between trying to get from Senior B to Senior A is significant. So look, it's a learning experience for Plunketts as well. But we've said this a couple of times tonight. When it comes to the business end of the year, I don't think Boden will be too far away.
A Boden team who have been contenders for the last number of years against a Plunketts team who didn't get out of the group for their first 2 years at the top level. Last year they got to the quarter-final. It was much to their credit, but it just outlines the difference between the two teams.
Yeah, but you can't if you take Keane Boland away, and McSweeney away, and there's another one or two I'm probably forgetting as well that are missing. So if you take 3 or 4 of their main players out, it's an awful lot for a young emerging team to ask.
Plus Ballyboden have just played incredibly well tonight.
Yeah, they have, and I suppose the curtain will remind them that they've been allowed to play quite well at times. So there's bigger tasks ahead, and within that group to get through the 2 games with 4 points, and I suppose that's what he's looking for as a manager.
Tommy Hines, Killian Hayes, kept alive by Phil McGarry in the dying seconds. Intercepted by Morris. Rebounds off the stick there of Behan. Back to McCormack. Looking for Hayes and finding him. Hayes outside. Conor Scully. 3 on 3 inside. Scully goes short-ish to Arthur. Arthur juggling it. And he hasn't caught that one right, and he's not happy with himself. But there was a free. There was a chop, I think, and it's a free in. He seems to be indicating there was some kind of loose use of the hurley by Rob Leddy. Or was it John Maguire?
I think it was, yeah. Arthur wasn't happy with his own shot selection anyway, so he did another second shot at it.
That's one way of putting it.
Surprised that the crowd tonight, I think for both games, we didn't have a big. You'd love to see a bigger attendance, especially now I know it's a bit breezy there this evening, but you like on a summer evenings, like to kind of create that atmosphere for the club championship over the next couple of weeks to kind of really drive it on before it gets to the business end.
I guess it's opening night and holiday time, so that certainly has an impact on it. And that's the game. Boden were 2-12 to 10 points up at the break. They built on that in the second half. It finished 8-18 to 1-17. Look, this one's been over since early in the second half, so there's not much more you can add. What will Boden take for it going on to their match at the weekend against St. Jude's?
Look, it's very simple. They got through the first championship match, they've won it. They've got some game time into some of the younger players, the new players that are on the panel that haven't experienced Division 1 or Senior A championship yet in Dublin. I was impressed with young Behan when he came on. I thought some of their their older lads, they're the Keeneys and the Lamberts, like really stood up tonight when it was needed. The younger players in Boden are learning off serious characters, but look, he'll take from it, like knowing David Curtin as I do, like he'll also take things that they need to work on before the Jude's match. But I'd imagine his aim going into this was, look, we've 2 games, get the 2 games won before we get a bit of a break before the big ball starts. But look, it's hard on Plunkett, and you can see, like if you look at the type of character that Lambert is, the first person he goes over to the end of the match there is young Hayes, and he's talking to him for a couple of minutes. And look, it's a learning experience for Plunkett, but a hard lesson tonight on the basis of where they want to go and where Boden are. And I've said it a few times, when it comes to the business end, I'm sure Coola management and Crokes management and Lucan and so on are looking at this team as being a team that will definitely have a say in the business end of the year.
2 more games to come live on Dubs TV at the weekend. We hope they're a little bit tighter than this one. On Saturday afternoon, both matches live here from Parnell Park. Crave Kieran against Lucan Sarsfields and St Vincent's up against St Bridget's. Earlier on tonight, by the way, at O'Toole Park, Kilmacud Crokes beat Crave Kieran 27 points to 14. And earlier on here in Parnell Park, St Jude's defeated by Nafina. The final score of that one, 320 to 117. You can watch both of the games that we showed live tonight back, and remember, you can join the conversation on social media. Don't forget the hashtag GoAheadDSH1. You can also subscribe to Dubs TV on YouTube, and you can check out anything that's coming up. And of course, if anything is coming up, it'll pop up and you won't have to find it. Let's have a look at the highlights of the second half. Some nice Ballyboden goals here, and in fairness, one for Plunkett's as well.
Yeah, Aidan Millett, they brought him out obviously from corner forward in the first half, out in the middle of the field. Thought he did really well, broke through really well there for the goal. Again, had a part to play here inside, but thought Luke McDwyer tonight showed a bit of class, when he was in there, and a bit of a turn of pace as well. Obviously Shane Durkin gets in for a goal as well, but this pass by Keeney, like the vision, look at that, into hand, and again, good finish by Reiner, whether he meant it or not. I'm sure I'll get a message about that tomorrow.
Look at the wrist, he meant that.
Yeah, but look, again, like you see here, the battling quality, I've said it a few times, the big platform for me tonight for Boden was their half back line. Very little past them. It opened up once maybe in the first half, and for the goal that the young lad got in the second half as well. But again, great finish by McDwyer there, but again, it's just all a little bit too easy at times for them. And when they needed to be ruthless, they were, and I thought Aidan and Pierce Christie did quite well out around the middle for taking those long scores.
In fairness, and we will see it, Hayes got a good goal for Plunkett's.
He did this, and he finishes really well. Like Finn was obviously beaten on his right hand side, and you can see by his body language he wasn't happy with how Hayes got a bit of time to actually strike it. But this is one for the Durkin mantelpiece.
Not one of the standout moments of the match.
Again, like look, their shooting efficiency was quite high tonight. in the second half especially. They obviously got a couple of words at half time that when they to put the foot down on it, and when they had it, when they needed to, I think Hammersley adds something to them. I think he has that bit of physicality inside to allow him to win ball, and it gives Connell a chance to get out around the middle and the centre to win his own ball too. I thought he did really well tonight when he needed to, and really stood up for that kind of physical challenge when he needed to break down ball. Again, I thought Dooley did well, even though he probably will be disappointed with maybe one or two of his shots. I just think he adds that physical presence. And look, you have to give credit to the Plunketts too. They kept going, they kept trying. They're a young team, and all credit to their management too. But again, that this one here came out of McDwyer just going, and this being, I haven't seen him before, but I've heard a lot about him. But his wrists again when he came in, he's a good young player that's coming through for Boden as well.
Okay, that's where we wrap it up for tonight on Dubs TV. Don't forget 2 more games coming up on Saturday. You can get all the scores from all the various levels via Dublin's social media channels, Dublin GA's social media channels, and of course the website. And we're back on Saturday with 2 more games. Joe Fortune, thank you very much. Unfortunately for Plunkett, it wasn't their night. Before that, Jude's struggled against Nafina Kilmacud Crokes with a victory against Craig Kieran at O'Toole Park, and you can read all about it on Dublin GA's website. That's it from myself and Joe here in Parnell Park on a breezy but pleasant Wednesday night. We hope to see you again on Saturday. Until then, goodbye.